Kia ora everyone. I want to talk this morning about dealing with anxieties. So, firstly, anxieties are normal sort of feeling to have, but when we're in processes of change, often anxieties kind of bubble to the surface. And I'm using the plural anxieties rather than just sort of an amorphous idea of anxiety, because there are many things that contribute to the way that we feel. Part of anxieties is also having an excitement and anticipation about what's happening. And then the other dimension of it is being really uncertain, unclear, ambivalent about what that means. And so, what we're all doing at some point, and have done over the last few weeks of the COVID-19 pandemic, is cope with uncertainty, cope with change, cope with the unknown, cope with the fear of the unknown, cope with being locked down. So, in other words, there are a number of things that contribute maybe to the way we feel about things. But I want to really address anxieties both in that context and what it might mean for learning and teaching, for the academic work that we're all trying to do, and maybe some quick strategies about how to kind of cope with anxieties, but also try and get some solid certainty in terms of the work that you're doing. So I think number one is give yourself permission to say, I'm feeling anxious, or this makes me anxious, or I'm experiencing anxieties. So give yourself permission to say those things out loud to yourself, but also to us who are your teachers and to other people in your household. It's a statement of where you're at. It's not necessarily a statement of where you're at every day, every hour, and every minute, but it's a word that packs a lot of meaning. So give yourself permission to do that. I think it's important in uncertain times to do what you can to create some things that you can be certain about. And that in the end comes down to the way you structure your day, the way you dress, what time of day you decide that you're going to have a shower, what clothes you put on, what you eat, when you eat, really basic things. And often in times of uncertainty, it's really important to create times of certainty where you know this is what I'm going to do. And even though no one's looking and you think, well, no one cares, I can just slop around in my pajamas all day, no one really notices whether I've had a shower or not. The important thing is you care, and that you decide, okay, I'm going to do this, because how we dress and how we attend to ourselves is also how we approach the day. So don't take those things for granted. Yes, you can learn in your pajamas. And yes, I've given a Zoom hui where I've had my pajama bottoms on, but the top part looks not too bad. So we're allowed those little permissions. But it's really important to know at all times that you're doing that quite purposefully, and that you haven't lost your sense of time, and that you haven't lost your sense of rhythm, because the rhythm of the day is what gives you also another kind of certainty. So in terms of approaching your work, I think it's important to, take a really positive attitude. I'm going to do this. Set yourself some milestones about what you're going to do. And then, even if it's really difficult in terms of assembling resources, give yourself some moments in the day and in the week where you just commit. Right, I'm going to do 30 minutes on this. That's it, 30 minutes, and then do it. All right, don't muck around. Make a commitment do it and you will feel better. And at the end of the week, you'll be able to say, well, I did this, 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 and this. And all of that adds up. Same as, your assignments, thinking about what the next assignment is. Even if today all you do is read the instructions, and then maybe tomorrow lay out what your time frame is, how many days, how many weeks, what you need to do. Just before you even start the assignment, think about being organised and approaching the assignment. And then you can start just day by day getting into it. I really recommend, especially at undergraduate level, that you be as systematic as you can and that you manage your time really well. It's, in a sense, you have all the time in the world to do some things, but in another sense, you don't have all the time in the world. All you have is the time that you're willing to give. And you've already invested a great deal in your studies. In fact, you've invested years into your studies, and you need to think about that in relation to this next assignment. Think about what you have to do and then approach it with a positive mind. So, what does that do with anxiety, or how does it handle our anxiety? I just think it gives us little deadlines that we can focus on other than the things we cannot control. All right, we cannot control some things, but I think we get a lot of security about consciously controlling those things that we can. And they come down to these basics, the basics of, washing our face, having a shower, getting ready for doing the assignment we're going to do, or reading something, that they're really simple tasks. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can just do one thing a day. And after a while, one thing a day adds up. Not everyone can stare at a screen. Some of you are probably sharing your access to the internet. So I think managing those things in a consistent way and being consistent is also important. All right, so it's just a short talk. Let us know if you are feeling anxious about the course, what you're learning, the next assignment, or just life in general. But try your best not to let anxiety get in the way of enjoying opportunities to learn in a different way, perhaps. Enjoying the reading, because I think if you get into the course and you watch some of these videos and read the readings, there are a lot of tools in there about what it means to do and be involved in Indigenous work and Indigenous research. Every time I look at our tipuna and I look at what our communities do, it gives me great heart. It's not that, things make me despondent as well, but I can see solutions and I can see legacies from the past, and I can see resilience and I can see survival. I can see our tipuna and everything that they did, and I can see our humanity. I can see what our potential is, and those things give me enormous hope. And I think in the end, that's how we navigate through these times. Take hope, be positive, control those things you can control, and just go at it consistently every day. You don't have to climb Mount Everest every day, but it's a good thing to take a few steps. So have a good week, approach the week positively, and, really looking forward to meeting many of you back on campus next semester.